Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Black Brothers View, BBV. I am your host, DL Gitron. Our producer is Mark Petersen, handling things for us. And we have a lineup of guests here tonight as we discuss COVID-19 and youth sports. You've been paying attention to the news, and I don't care if you've been trying to pay attention or not, it's been paying attention to you. It's been catching you everywhere you go. You understand that there's been some controversy regarding going back to school in the midst of COVID-19. And even while a lot of schools have decided to go virtually, then that leaves what are we to do about the sports, which so many of our students are involved in. I actually think it serves as a therapy for a lot of our students, our young people. And so we got some young brothers tonight, young Black brothers who will be able to share where they are with that, as well as we have some adult sports leaders who work with our young people who will be sharing as well. So we welcome you into this conversation. We're glad you're here. If you have any questions, please make sure that you post them in the comment box, and our producer will make sure and make us aware of them. We have the opportunity, the pleasure, the privilege of meeting some positive guys tonight. So I want to make sure and make that clear that these are some positive lights in our community, Black brothers. So without further ado, I would like for all the brothers to introduce yourself, all the young brothers to go ahead and introduce yourselves. Not all at once, one at a time. So let the world know who you are. And if when you introduce yourself, if you could please let us know what position you play.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I play DB receiver. I'm 15. I'm Daryl DePass.
And your name? You say your name again?
Daryl DePass.
All right. Daryl DePass. All right, I like that. You have a athletic name, man.
Yes, sir.
You say you're 15 years old?
Yes, sir.
All right. Glad to have you here, man. And our next guest.
My name is Kaleb. I play quarterback and outside linebacker, and I'm 13.
Glad to have you here, Kaleb, man. Linebacker. All right, sir. Yes, sir.
My name is Eamon Small. I play defensive line, and I'm 15.
Good to have you, Eamon. Glad to have you here, man. And next we have.
My name is Myles Petersen. I play defensive end and tight end, and I'm 12 years old.
12 years old. And I believe you are the producer's son. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
I had an opportunity talking to Myles the other night. He was working and handling things, co-producing, I call it. All right, next.
That'll be Omar Mcallop.
Come on.
Kaleb Williams.
Sir.
Introduce yourself, your position, your sport.
I play quarterback, outside linebacker, and I'm 13.
13. All right. And Myles?
Me, Myles, or the other man?
Which Myles?
Myles Petersen.
My name is Myles McCallop. I play quarterback, and a little safety.
Oh.
Oh, and I'm 12 years old.
Okay. I might call you Myles Mac. Is that cool?
M squared.
M squared?
Yeah.
I like that, M squared. Hey, I do the same thing. I'd be like, hey, let me tell you what, I prefer this. So now you have met our young fellas. Let's meet the adults. We have Dantzler here.
Call you back.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Dantzler. I'm the director for the Extra Mile club. It's a mentoring group here in Beaufort, South Carolina. Daryl DePass and Eamon Small have been with me since they've been 8 and 9 years old, and these guys are now 15 years old. So they've been with me for a while. One thing that Eamon didn't mention is that Eamon just received a scholarship offer from the University of South Carolina. Eamon is 6'3", 327 or something like that, I believe.
Right.
So that's a huge accomplishment for our group, for a young man coming out here at that age. So he's a humble young man, ain't gonna, flash something like that. That's the way we taught our guys. And I promise you, Daryl has an offer right around the corner as well. So that's gonna be a huge accomplishment for these young men to receive those scholarships.
That's awesome, man. I'm proud of y'all, man. Hey, that's a good thing. This, like I said, you all are positive lights in the community, and appreciate that. Down the road, we have an awards event that's going to take place for black brothers, and you are definitely going to be called upon for that. Let us now hear from Mr. the father, the daddy himself, Mr. McCallop.
So my name is Omar Mcallop. I coach high school ball. I coach youth ball. I'm also the commissioner for NYFO 7-on-7, primarily for Raleigh and North Carolina. So I'm involved in football on every level, from youth to high school to college. I do a number of programs for NC State and Carolina as far as introducing young players to those universities. And so that's what I do as a football coach between 7-on-7 and tackle football. As a dad, Myles just turned 12 about 40 days ago. So, I mean, he's really, just getting used to his 12-year-old body. He's still an 11-year-old guy, but, he just kind of goes out there and plays. I kind of handle everything. He's been invited to, programs as far as QB Universe, the Elite 11. If anybody knows QB, Elite 11 is one of the most important pieces that you can be involved in as far as QB. Those guys follow us and reach out to us. For any quarterback gunslingers in Tennessee, so any quarterback competition or quarterback scenario nationwide, he's already received an invite for, as far as also being on the radar of a few Power 5 schools, even at 11 to 12 years old. So, but like I said, he doesn't really know a lot about all that stuff. He focuses on, I have him focused on training and getting better every day. So, I handle, all the other stuff that goes on with him. Outside of that, I just try to keep him focused on training and getting better every day. While we work with quarterback coach Ray Isaac, he trained Cam Newton, some of the top quarterbacks in the country. So Sunday we'll have Quincy Avery will be here on Sunday, and Quincy works out with Deshaun Watson and Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts. So we just taking his talent and putting him around other opportunities and other resources to really just help him be a better player.
Awesome. So talking about, man, what? I want to remember all these names here, man. I'm looking at tape. I'm like, I know, man. All right, so now none other than my producer, my frat brother. They say the best for last. I want him to introduce himself as a guest tonight as well. Taking care of business. None other than Mark Petersen. Come on in, man.
Hey, my name is Mark Petersen. I am an assistant coach, youth football. I'm not the X's and O guys. That's not my specialty. I'm more of the discipline, keep the kids in line, keep them focused on what they're doing. I've coached with Omar 2 seasons ago. Then we switched organizations. And been assistant coach last year. We coached 7-on-7. What, 2 seasons ago, Omar?
Yep, 2018.
Okay. And we won a national 7-on-7 championship that year. Was it 10U, right?
Yep.
And Omar felt the next. He's also a frat member of Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
That's right.
What is going on? Y'all better watch out. Okay. So, fellas, listen here. Before we get started with our conversation, I like to make sure we do a little icebreaker game/activity so that everybody can just, smile a little bit and have a little fun. And so we have the men and we got the boys tonight. So the way it's going, because we got 5 boys, 5 guys, 5 young men, and 3 older guys, right? Y'all are going against them. And what I'm going to do is give you some challenges, and I need to see who can get it first, whether it's the young guys or the older brothers. Y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Yes, sir.
as long as one person from that side, you can call it old generation, young generation, old school, young school, whatever. Okay, here we go. So I need the first person to show me, go get a ball of any kind. Go get a ball and bring it back. A ball. Let's see if it's
Got it.
what? All right. You got it, man. That's one for the young fellas. We got it. One for the young fellas. Okay. So now, the second thing, almost like let's make a deal. I need to see the first person to bring me and show me a picture of yourself from a sport in sports uniform. You gotta bring it. You gotta show it. A picture of yourself. It can be on your phone, whether you're using your phone, whatever. Just a picture of you. Why you not moving, man?
I
don't got a photo.
Okay. That's why you said I ain't going nowhere.
Hey, I got all the photos.
You got all the photos. Okay. So wait a minute. Anybody got one?
Yeah, I got one.
Yes, I got one.
Okay, something just happened with my screen just now. Okay.
Yeah, we can't. Somehow going on our screen. Hey, Mark, let my computer in. Okay.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I think that's you. Yeah, that's you. They were all right. Sounds good. Look like Daddy trying to help you win too. Okay, so hey, big brother. Old school. I need y'all to get a point, man. Young school got 2 points. So here we go right here. The first person to show me something. No, I'll do it this way. The first person to show me a magazine, any kind. But not any kind. Don't bring any kind of magazine up here. But show me an appropriate magazine.
Got it.
I got it.
Nah, I got you, buddy.
I got it.
That's another point. That's another point for us.
Hey, young school. Yeah, young school. Young brothers got 3. I'm going to give one to the old school. This is the last one right here. Now, this one right here is actually worth 5 points itself. All right, this last one worth 5 points itself. So, no matter where you are, you can come back with this one right here. I need the first person who bring me something from the kitchen. A dish from.
Yeah, he must be.
I got it.
What is this?
It only took me 2 seconds.
Nope, I got it.
No, that ain't fair. That ain't fair. You gotta go in the kitchen to get something.
Hey, this came out. I had to. Hey, I got you.
No, that's not fair.
Stuff from the kitchen. So that means that the old school got that right.
Yes, sir.
No, that don't count. That don't count.
Hey, he didn't say silverware. He said something from the kitchen.
You go to
Well, I did. I said something from the kitchen. Then I said a dish.
You
from the
didn't go
kitchen.
to the kitchen.
Well, I'm in the meeting.
A dick.
So we good. Hey, you want to call it a tie? Benny got something from the kitchen and he didn't hear that dish part.
Yeah, I didn't hear the dish part. I was
Yeah,
gone.
okay. Yeah, hey, I appreciate y'all for participating. Hey, I did it that way since y'all were in the sports. Usually I do like a mind kind of game and you have to think of things real quick. But listen, fellas, on a serious tip, we are living in a time that we've never lived in before. No one really living has seen this kind of thing going before. I mean, we have a combination of Black Lives Matter movement. At the same time, we have COVID-19 going on. And it's been causing a lot of shifts, a lot of changes in all of our lives. And one thing, we all have to be sensitive to each other. It matters not our age, whether we're young or older, it's impacting all of us. It's affecting all of us. And before we go into COVID-19 tonight, I just need each one of the young guys, if you don't mind, if you would tell me how you have been impacted Black Lives Matter movement. Everything that you've been hearing going on, what does it mean to you when you hear Black Lives Matter? So y'all have y'all order. If you can just tell me, what does that mean to you and how has it impacted you?
Black Lives Matter. It means a lot to
Young
me.
fellas, go ahead.
It means a lot to me because it's it's present happening. Hello, you hear me?
Yes.
I think my screen's frozen.
Yeah, go ahead, DePass.
Okay, so yeah, it means a lot to me because it's happening as we know it's present and it's been happening for a good while now. But like having it happen.
Okay, I'm getting it's
Okay. He's lagging, so just go forward. Go ahead, DePass. He'll catch up.
But like having it happen now, like I just try to block out all the noise and focus. But it's serious because I'm Black. I'm a young Black male, so yeah. But I just try to block out all the noise and focus.
Right. So when you see all the protesting and everything going on, and well, I'm gonna ask you this question: Do you have any white friends or friends of another ethnic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How is your dialogue with them? How's your relationship with them? Is it still the same? Do you notice a difference? How's that?
Yeah, it's pretty much still the same. We still work out every day. Yeah, it's pretty much still the same. Nothing changed.
Okay, that's good, man. That's real good. That from your level and the young experience, y'all are not allowing it to cause y'all to have different vibes towards each other. That's good. Who's next? Talk to me.
Black Lives Matter to me is a cultural base on our history, and it describes as other people do not matter more than other people, and everybody should be treated equally.
Right. Tell me, Myles, do you feel when you see what's going on in society with Black Lives Matter and white supremacy, either one of y'all, but Myles first, does it make you feel scared? Does it make you feel fearful about, going out? Does it make you fearful for your dad?
Yes, sir. Sometimes when my dad does go out to work, I do get a little bit nervous, but I also feel disappointed that some people take it into their hands that they have to do a harmful thing towards others, and specifically Black African American men and women, just to prove that they're better than them. And as God says, we should all be treated equal. And it's just disappointing on how the world is and how it's going on.
Exactly. Kaleb, what are your thoughts, man?
Yes.
How have you been impacted by Black Lives Matter? How you feel, man?
Well, for me, it's like, I'm not gonna say it's inevitable because I see the stuff every day. I live in Atlanta. I see the marches. I see the protests. I see the rioting. So like I get scared from my brothers, from my friends because they go out and they might get pulled over by the police and they might get stopped because their parents never taught them how to act when you're in front of the police. So I get scared, I get nervous because sometimes I don't want to end up like Trayvon Martin or Ahmaud Arbery. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Petersen, I've noticed a little, I don't know if y'all can hear it too, like a little feedback going on. I don't know if can y'all hear that feedback?
Yes.
Yeah, it's someone's phone. We'll just keep moving on.
Might be two people phone, because I want to make sure that the viewers be able to enjoy it and everything like that without distracting them from hearing. Myles Square. Oh, that's what we said, right?
I'm square.
Talk to me, Myles.
It's definitely hard. It's a little harder than you gotta see it on the news a lot. But I try to also just kind of out, kind of doing what I'm doing.
Hold 1 second. It's I cannot. It's something going on with somebody's phone. I just want to get it together so that we can make sure that the audience can hear it clearly, because I can barely hear it clearly. Are there two phones close together or something? Two devices?
Not with us, but you can. People can mute their screen from the bottom left-hand corner. If you're not speaking, if you mute it there, then sound won't be able to come into your mic. Only person that's speaking. That may be one way to do
it.
But go ahead, Myles. Start again.
Yeah, sorry about that, Myles. I want to make sure Young King, I want to make sure we hear everything words you say. Go ahead, Myles.
So, like I was saying, it's like harder, and you guys see it on the news a lot, pretty much every day.
Mm-hmm.
And we live pretty close to downtown Raleigh, so we drove by there, and all the stuff that's going on over there is a lot to take in. But I kind of just try to keep doing what I'm doing, keep working out every day, just kind of keep going how I'm going. But I'm definitely, you gotta be like more cautious, I think. Like you can't do everything exactly the same as you would usually do.
Wow, man. Oh gosh. Just listen. Hey, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. You are definitely a light. You keep that focus like you got, man, and that's gonna make the difference. That's gonna be the thing that's separating you. And like you said, being cautious and then keeping your focus. That's real important. You're being raised right, man. And who we left out? Who we hadn't heard from? The young fella.
That's everybody.
That's everybody. Okay.
I didn't go.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, and listen, y'all.
You're like an adult. You do so big like an adult.
And don't get left over. I want everybody's voice. Your voice matter here. If you look like they say, wait a minute, I got something to say. All right. Okay, go ahead, man.
I'm a grown man.
Oh, well, it has an effect. I mean,
it's just like I try to be cautious. Like I try to stay cautious. Like I just honestly I just go to work out and come home. But like I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that it's stuff getting done now, because like a lot of it's been going on for too long. Like I understand the protests and stuff, and I'm happy that we finally getting stuff done now.
Yeah. So as you go to work and everything and come home, you're not scared. You feel good. You have
like I'm a little bit cautious. Like it's like sad that my mom, you know, she got to teach me, my sister, and my brother like what to do in case we like come across the police and stuff. Like that's the world we live in today.
Right. Let me say this from a faith standpoint. I'm gonna conclude this. I cover you all our young brothers anyway in prayer. But it sounds like you got a good head on your shoulder. You understand what's going on in society, that you understand that you play a part, which is being cautious and staying focused and staying on the right path. And I guarantee you that's going to play a big part in your outcome. That's going to play a big part in your outcome. Not getting distracted by a lot of the stuff that's going on, or being swayed another kind of way. So we're getting ready to go back to school. COVID-19 is here. The pandemic is still here. And different governors are, well, I know here in Atlanta, our governor and our mayor are at war with each other about the wearing the mask. You know, different people on different sides of the coin as it relates to should we go back to school or not. I want to talk to the dads. Dantzler, how do you feel about the kids going back to school, man? In the midst, before we start talking about the sports, in the midst of this pandemic, what are your thoughts about that, and what's going on with you all regarding school?
Well, around here, the youth in South Carolina, the dates keep getting pushed back. They just shut down our county buildings again, so I really want to see our kids go back to school, but go back in a safe way. And I think at the moment, nobody has the right answer for the safe way going back. They gave us an option around here. Parents can make a decision for their kids to go 5 days a week, face-to-face, or do online schooling. So, right. You know, it's just crazy right now, man. Our numbers are going up like crazy here in South Carolina. So I think at the end of the day, you know, if the higher ups had did this the right way, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now. So right. My thing, if it was important for our kids to go back to school, then they just should have done this thing the right way. And now this is what we face with. And here you have some saying, let them go back. They're going to be all right. The kids' immune system is not as weak as the older ones. And all that stuff right now is a myth, because it doesn't matter what color you are or how old you are. Everybody's being affected from this thing right now.
Right. So tell me, if what side are you on? Are you for, or do you feel comfortable that your school, that your kid, you have one child or you have more?
I have one that's in school right now.
Right, one in school.
My wife already said that she's not going back. And the reason being is because, you know, they're not putting the kind of money that's putting money into the system to whereas, you know, the cleaning up the facilities and stuff like that they're saying everybody go back to school, but there's no beginning or end plan to me. It's just put them out there, and if the kids get sick, they send them home. But that's not how this thing works. So my daughter is going to be taught at home until they figure this thing out.
Right. Tell me, can y'all still see me? Hello?
No, we can't.
No, your video went out, good man.
That's what I'm trying to see what's going on. Okay.
Video.
Can you see me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. I'm hoping this thing is charged good or whatever, but here, we keep it rolling. Okay. So yeah, I heard you said that your wife said she's not she's not going back. Yeah. I say this to parents is that when we see from the top, from the White House on down, and we see the bickering and stuff that's going on, we're hearing so much from government, from a political standpoint, we're hearing from the medical, we're hearing from scientists. It's at some point in time, it's like we got to hear from our own heart, from within, and make a decision for what's best for, our house, our home.
Right.
McCallop, sir, how you feel about this? How many school age kids you have?
So I get to look at it from a number of viewpoints because I'm on calls with because I coach high school, so we're looking at trying to figure out what's going to happen with high school football, and then obviously I'm looking at it from my personal kid standpoint. So
right.
on some, it's kind of odd because there are people that are saying that there shouldn't be any high school football, but those same people are saying that we should have kids in a room where it's more contagious than being outside. So it is not adding up. If you're going to say that kids shouldn't be on the football field and shouldn't be outside, then how are you going to say that they should be all in a room breathing the same air for 4 or 5 hours a day? So a lot of odd stuff going on. So kind of like Chris said, man, we already signed up my kids. We signed up for virtual learning. I'm not sending them in that environment without more information, without more, just a lot more, because it feels like it's just, hey, let's throw the kids in the schools and see what happens. Another thing is too, there's a separation between public schools and private schools. Public don't have as much control over numbers of kids, how close those kids are, et cetera, whereas typically private schools can have a much larger control over the numbers. They have a better opportunity to spread those kids out and have more control over social distancing than public schools. So some of the powers that be that are saying go back, a lot of those kids are in private schools and they have a better ability to social distance. And that certainly goes down lines of race as well. So you gotta, like I said before, you gotta look back at what's gonna be best, for your family. But for us, we're not going anywhere. In North Carolina, I doubt there will be any football of any sort. Most of the youth programs have already shut down. And so that's my take on it. Yeah, my kids definitely won't be going back. Probably the rest of this year, we're going to do it virtually and see what happens.
Okay. And you hit on my transition in a second, but I want to hit Petersen right quick. Petersen, how are you with your kids going back? I know we talked about this some time ago, but as we all know, it's like every day things are changing, So right now, is your mindset the same, or you feel like you'll let your kids go back? Petersen.
We're in a whole different category. Reason being, I have a rising 7th grader and a rising kindergartner. So we know the 7th grader can do online learning without an issue.
Right.
Kindergartner, on the other hand, that's the foundation. So it's hard. It's hard. We prayed about the decision. We prayed about what we're going to do, but with the youngest one, we feel that she needs to be in school learning, but we are concerned. But it's just a whole lot that we're still praying on, waiting for guidance and answers on.
So it sounds like the government, politicians and scientists and everybody is as baffled and discombobulated as all of us are, you know. Of course, there are some people getting paid to think about the solutions, and everybody else have to just go along with it. We're going to continue to just keep watching on the news and everything, but we're going to stay prayerful. But I just encourage y'all, you know, as fathers and stuff. My son is in college right now, and so it's a thing of even he's expressed some of his concerns. And when you hear so much going on with the college students, it's, you know, and the thing about with COVID, you know, it's amazing how some of them have taken it as a game. Some people in college, you know, are not taking it seriously, and they've been having little parties and stuff to see who can get COVID first, and they're gonna get the money. So you just never know how people are internalizing it, how seriously they're taking it. So when you put your kids around others, even though there's a presence that's set in an environment, it takes everybody complying with it, you know. And so we're gonna stay prayerful with you all with that. But Kaleb actually took us to sports, and that's what we want to hit on as our last subject for tonight: COVID-19 and sports and the young people. I want to first ask the young people, what does it mean? What does sports mean to you? What does it do for you? You know, because it looks as if not only is school going to be taken away from you, but maybe the sports. All of it is for your concern, you know, for your health, for your well-being. But like McCallop, you know, brought up a good point. It's like you're saying, hey, they can go in the classroom, but maybe not do the sports. You know, where are you with that? And Dantzler, you first, man. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me where you are with sports. What position you say you play again?
DB receiver.
Okay. You ready to go back and play?
Sir.
Do you feel comfortable enough to go back and play with everything going on?
For sure, I do. Sports, you asked, what does it mean to us? It's just, you know, we live Beaufort, South Carolina. Some things, sometimes it's not always crazy, but sometimes things get crazy around here. It just takes my mind off a lot of stuff, you know.
Right. Yeah. So you're saying it's like therapy for you, give you something to do, put your mind somewhere else.
You know, it's also a motivation too at the same time.
Right. Have you been socializing with your friends? Have you been, because that's a big thing. Many of you have been isolated from some of your friends. How's that been for you?
I don't really have too many friends. You know, the ones I do have, we we work out every day. We do everything the same. Nothing changed.
Okay. All right. Kaleb, what's your sport again, man?
I play football.
Right. So I was talking to you earlier, Kaleb, and when I was talking to you earlier, Kaleb, it kind of hit me, man, because I thought it was something else was going on with you. And just to let you all in, I was asking Kaleb, I said, you know, how you doing, man? And he said, there's nothing I can do about it. You know, I said, what is it? Some people share with me, you know, and it was pretty much pertaining not being able to do sports. So how is it affecting you, man? What are your thoughts regarding it?
My thoughts is like, to me, I feel like it's stupid because we're sitting in a classroom for an hour, each classroom for an hour, and we're breathing the same air. And why would you just cancel football where it's an outlet for everybody to do. It's an outlet for other boys because when they go to back to their neighborhoods, they have a lot of issues going on, and like that's football is the way for them to let all the anger out and have something about themselves. So yeah.
Right. The I mean, it's a constructive program that does allow you to, you know, exert some of your energy and, like you said, emotions and stuff. And not having that is, but so you feel safe enough to go back and play? I know you would miss it if you couldn't do it, but do you feel safe enough to go back and play?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. And I feel like everybody should go back and play. Every athlete should go back and play, because if the coaches and the staff take the extra precaution to sanitize everything down after we play and do stuff like that, there won't be nothing. Or if you take the extra precaution, you'll be safe. That's
Right.
from my standpoint.
So Myles Square, big man, how you feel about it? You ready? What's your sport again?
Football.
Football. And you feel safe enough to go back and play football?
Yeah. As long as everybody's taking all the precautions and whatnot, I think it's
right.
Good. Right now, I'm playing 7-on-7, and they're requiring everybody to wear a mask, and you have to sanitize your hands every so water break.
Okay.
Like if we just keep keeping up the all the precautions and whatnot with masks, hand sanitizer, and all that good stuff, I think I think it's safe.
Okay. So you've been wearing your mask and everything, washing your hands. Dad hadn't had to tell you that. You've been doing it on your own?
Yes, sir.
That's good, man. That's real good. See, that's the thing about it is that I don't know about y'all. I've seen some people doing it, but then I've seen some people not doing it. And then sometimes the people not doing it, I got my mask on. I'm walking past them. They don't have no mask on. And I'm trying to avoid them, So y'all friends wearing masks and everything too, Myles?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Everybody.
Okay.
The kids are, oddly enough, man, the kids are more on top of it than we are. I mean, a lot of times I'll get in my car or we'll be going somewhere and doing something, and Myles will remind me or hand me my mask, like, hey. So, and we've just created this culture to where, with 7-on-7 and practices and stuff, like, hey, if you want to play and you love to play and you want to be here, this is what has to be done. So we've created that culture, and they've got on board because these guys truly want to play. They want to be on the field. They've worked hard and trained and done all these other things, and they want to get out there and play, because that's the culmination of all the training and the hard work that you do to get out there and show what you can do.
Yeah, so what it sounds like you're saying to me is like, I mean, this is the new normal, like creating a new culture. And because it's something that they want to do, that's going to be that prize for them. They're gonna comply.
Yeah, I think it's like anything else that you do. If you want, for the guys who are, and a lot of these guys are high school guys or rising high school guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be great, you train and you work hard.
Right.
If you want to play ball, then you have to do. That's one of the additional things that you have to do to be able to play right now.
So have y'all seen any, and I want to ask this to Edmund, going into Edmund first. Edmund, have you seen any of your, do you know anybody who has come down with COVID-19? Edmund, you still there?
Mr. Small.
Are you talking about me?
You mean Eamon?
No, I got his name wrong.
I wrote it down wrong, man. Forgive me, man. You know what? He's like, wait, he ain't called my name. Yeah, Eamon, yeah, man. And you know what? And that's Eamon in my family too. So, yeah. Have you seen anybody with COVID-19? I mean, do you know of anybody who had COVID-19 close to you?
No, sir. Not that I know of.
Okay. So, because I think that sometimes when it's come close to us, then maybe that, we have a different view on it. So you feel cool enough and safe enough to go back and play sports now? You ready?
Yes, sir. I'm so ready.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I said I feel safe enough to go back and play.
Okay. And so have y'all had different measurements put into place, restrictions that y'all have to abide by And you've seen everybody pretty much complying?
Yes, for the most part, yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all haven't started practicing yet, though, have you?
No, sir.
We have.
They keep pushing it back.
Well, who said they started practicing?
I have. The team I'm playing with this year, we started practice in like June.
Okay.
I've got my tackle team to. We're in 7-on-7. We play 7. We're year-round football. Either we're playing tackle or 7-on-7. So we've been playing 7-on-7 for about. It kind of falls into, depending on who you ask, it falls into the softball area. And here they're playing softball like nobody cares. My daughter has had a tournament over the last 3 or 4 weekends, and she's in South Carolina right now playing a tournament, a softball tournament, and 7-on-7 falls in that same category. So we've been playing 7-on-7 for a little over a month now, either scrimmaging or in like the last 2 or 3 weeks. We got 3 games tomorrow. But
wow.
On top of that, we've personally started. I just started getting my old linemen together for tackle and just getting together with them and going over stuff. But we found out today, and I probably won't get together with my tackle guys as much because we won't have a fall season. But we had started that process of, again, my old linemen, my wide receivers, and my tight ends, so Myles can start throwing to them. But yeah, so we've been, slowly but surely active now. Again, we're going to scale that back now because they just announced that we won't have a fall football season. So we're gonna probably play 7-on-7 all the way through November. At least that's the plan.
So and you in North Carolina?
Yeah.
So in North Carolina, how are the numbers with COVID? Have you been keeping track on that?
I think we have some compared to Georgia and Florida, and I don't know about South Carolina, but compared to Georgia and Florida, we're lower. We've been lower. We've evened out. So we have, and Mark could probably speak to this some. We have some spikes here and there, but we're definitely lower than both of those states. I don't know about South Carolina, but we're definitely lower than Georgia and Florida.
Yeah, South Carolina has sparked. That's why they keep pushing our season start back, and if it continues the way it is, they're talking about playing football in the spring, and they really don't want to do that because now you're running into baseball and track. So it's crazy. You know, in college ball right now, you got the MEAC conference that's canceled their season. The Ivy League has canceled their season. I just seen, figuring out.
Yeah, AA canceled too.
Canceled. Then you have like you got these college teams right now that's practicing, but when somebody tests positive, they got to go on a 14-day quarantine. Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be crazy, man. You know, nobody knows what's the end game. You know, I'm the director here for a youth football program here in Beaufort, South Carolina, and we kind of follow whatever the South Carolina High School Football League does. And right. Every time they move their time back, we got to move. So we once we get in August, we at a critical point to whereas do we just not play at all? Because you still got to have time to practice. You still got to get kids fitted to order uniforms. And it takes about 5 weeks for our uniforms to get back because we're on the year to whereas we got to buy new uniforms. So I don't, if I take whatever the cost of uniform from our roster is normally about 65, 75 kids. Mm-hmm. We got to turn around now and give the parents back that money. But we already bought the uniforms. On top of that, there's a thing in place now, whereas when you use these facilities, because we play at a high school, you got to hire a cleaning crew to come in and clean up the facilities. You know, with grant money and funding money is depleted right now. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where a lot of the youth programs are looking at now. Do I want to take a check? And on top of that, a kid getting sick and you stand to get sued by a parent that loved you up until the child got sick.
The child got sick.
You know, so then they say, well, people are signing waivers. Well, most of the parents, if you got to sign a waiver, then they don't want your child to play. So it's a whole lot of stuff that goes on to this. I heard the young man say they feel safe playing, but it's so many things that come into play to even try, because schools got phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. If you can't get out of phase 1, I mean, if you got a phase 1 going to phase 2, kid gets sick, guess what? You go back into phase 1.
Right,
because
right,
they're still
right.
trying to figure out how a kid is going to put on a uniform and playing contact sports. So it's a tough situation. I've been training for the last 3 or 4 months, been taking these kids to camps and combines and to keep their spirits up and keep them in shape. But we just don't know. And my boys know I keep it real with them because I'd rather be real with them now and in a culture shock hit them to whereas they get the call and say, hey, they just done cancel the whole season.
Right.
Because just like Coach Omar said, you got the MEAC, you got the Ivy League, and now you got the NAIE leagues. So when you see all that stuff going on, it's just a matter of time when the other conferences are going to fall in place.
I don't see how it can happen because, we were hopeful, and like he's just saying, all these things stack on top of one another with youth football, because youth football a lot of times, whether it's North Carolina or South Carolina, we're playing at middle schools, we're playing on high schools. And if they're shut down, then not only, even if we wanted to play, we don't have a place to play. So it really just stacks on each other. And so a lot of youth conference like Pop Warner, it was just like, even if we wanted to play, even if we thought it was safe, but the high schools and middle schools that we feel that we use
play them,
can't get access to them anyway. So statistically, it's an impossible nightmare. And he has the NYFO, which I'm commissioner of the 707 organization, and we're in the same space. We're playing right now, but we can only play on where we can find dirt or where we can rent private fields because we can't rent public fields and we can't rent school fields anymore. So we have to search for private entities. And lastly, my nephew plays in his ACC school. My nephew plays for NC State, and they're chugging along normal. They haven't announced anything because they don't want to have to give back all of that money. So when you get into ACC and Pac-10 and all those big programs, you're talking about a ton of money. So they're trying to do everything possible to still play. But I just don't know how it's possible. So like you said, CIAA, MEAC, Ivy League, some of the smaller, I mean, more so the financial revenue generation, but those big television, stuff, those are a little bit hard to give up. So they're trying to figure it out. But quite frankly, I don't see how it can be possible. I think everybody, by the time it's said and done, I think everybody shuts down this year, maybe except for NFL. They seem to be either going along as usual. And also the NBA, I'm seeing commercials for the NBA games next week.
Yep.
And I was like, they just running commercials like COVID doesn't exist. So, but those are adults, right? Those are adults. So that's a totally different scenario from college kids or high school kids, youth kids. They can do whatever they want. But I think the rest of the country, I don't see us playing, unfortunately.
And see, I think, man, where it's hurting us is because the people don't want to do the minor things. They think wearing the mask is a joke. Social distances is a joke. So if that's all we have to to try to make things work, then, you know, because until we come together as a community,
right,
that's the only way we're going to be able to help our kids get back to school.
right,
You know,
right.
walking around, just living with the virus, and just, you know, it's going to die. Well, we already see that's not happening. If New York did it right, they're able to keep their numbers down and try to move forward. So all the other states was looking at this one state, basically clowning them, and now look what we're dealing with. So we're in a mess, man. And here I'm gonna get spiritual a little bit.
Okay.
Until we as a people, as a nation, understand that our idol gods is the problem right now, we're gonna be stuck right where we at.
Okay.
Because everybody right now is just want to play football, want to play basketball, want all these sports back. But guess what was the first thing that got taken away from us? And now that's the hardest thing for us to get back, because people just being stubborn, man. So
right.
We here. I feel bad for our kids, because they're the ones that's hurting the most.
You know, one thing that this reminds me of as I was listening to y'all talk, something I seen on the news the other day. There was these parents. No, this guy created a show about this. These parents who were fighting on the field, their kids waiting to play. The parents had disagreements. The kids waiting for the parents to stop fighting so that they can play ball. You know, so the kids had no problems. You know, it was the parents who had the beef, and they was wilding out. You know, and that's what we're dealing with right now when we're looking at government and politicians. You know, politicians, medical field, and everything. Everybody going back and forward and we're waiting. You know, and then our kids are waiting to see and waiting for y'all to stop fighting and everybody to come on one accord. You know, and that's not happening. And like you said, and that is true. These are the little guys. These are other guys, you know, that so that's something that it's so many moving parts to all of this. There's no one answer. There's no cookie cut, you know. And so that's a real thing that we all got to deal with. And I'm listening to the young fellas. It's like we ready to go back, man. We're gonna play, you know, even with what's going on with Black Lives Matter. It's like, man, we're just trying to stay focused. These are some awesome guys. Y'all are working with some awesome young guys who are trying to have something positive to focus on, and they're waiting and looking for adults and people with titles and positions, you know, and even we're in that place now to make decisions and come together for the betterment of everybody. But you got people who are concerned about politics, and you got people who are concerned about people. You know, and then those who are concerned about politics is the dollar, you know. Petersen, what you got to say about all this, man, as it relates to everything we've been talking about, you know, this sports and going back, and how do you feel about it, man?
You know, I feel that we can and we should resume sports to some extent. I'm not saying have packed crowds for youth sports, maybe limited to one parent. We have to be creative, use the technology that we have, such as
one parent.
Well, hold on, just let me finish now. We should be able to use the technology we have, such as live streaming a sporting event for a kid. We understand what we're dealing with. We know, and I'm looking at this from a multifaceted view. If we don't get these kids involved in something and keep them active and have them sitting around too long, we're going to have a whole different situation on our hands in a few months. No one's talking about that right now.
I've seen a lot already.
Yeah, so if we can keep something going on, keep kids active, it's a good thing. And so if we have to use technology and parents understand, like, hey, if we got to spend 5 hours, everyone puts some money so we have somebody videotaping this game, we can watch the game on our phone in the car, Let's do it to keep the kids active, to be proactive.
Oh, wow.
You know, we have the technology. We just have to start thinking about it right now. And that's the problem that a lot of governments have. They don't think. They react and not being proactive.
Right. But, you know, something you just said made me think that, you know, you have a lot of kids who are wilding out, who's not a part of any sports anyway. You know, they don't want to be a part of no sports, not doing anything constructive, right? And they're not doing anything now. They just have more time to just be mischievous or whatever. And even if they're doing school at home, are they going to be parents at home mandating that they, you know, apply themselves like they should to virtual learning? So now you got these other students, like these brothers here, these young brothers who were are part of constructive sports, you know, and that's where they want it. They don't want to be in the street. They want to do something constructive. So we run the risk of some of these guys who had a mind to do something constructive and was a part of an organized, program, who could get persuaded to go another way if they don't have something positive to engage in. That's just something that I thought about that as you was talking. We're dealing with a lot. I love the idea that you made mention of. I thought you was about to say the mama watch, and then the daddy sit in the car, and then they switch off. But like you were saying, you know, people have had to do that with graduations, kids one go or whatever. But I can see that though, man. I can see that having the kids. But this is what I've heard from some Braves players. They don't want to play if the crowd is not there. You know, if the crowd is tuning into them virtually, because they say they feed off of that energy. So that there goes the other side of that argument. Some people don't want to play if they don't have that crowd there to play with, because that's part of the game feel for them. Do you understand what I'm saying, Coach Omar?
I understand that sentiment, but like anything else, you got a decision to make. I think that the love for the game, no matter what game it is, now certainly it's different without a crowd, and that's a part of it that anybody would want. But your love for the game should supersede that. If it's any person, I would argue that any player on a certain level, and college level, certainly pro level, is going to want to play the game regardless.
Right.
All right. So, or playing the game without a crowd, said, no, I just won't play at all. I can't see that anybody who plays the game to that level saying that they would just rather not play at all.
Check out interviews from the Braves. There have been some Braves players who said that.
You talking about baseball?
Yeah, that's baseball.
Baseball boring anyway if you ain't playing. So if you're not playing, who cares?
But I'd agree. Any athlete who is in the love of the game shouldn't care about how many people they're playing in front of. It's more about playing and showing your talent. Because I think these professionals, who are true professionals, understand that, hey, I still can do what I need to do. People are just not here. They're at home watching.
And this is the thing. The crux of the sports is about competition. Two levels. Level one, I'm better than you and I can beat you. Level number two, my team is better than your team, and it's about competition. It's about competing. Competing has nothing to do with who's watching. Absolutely nothing to do. Now, does who's watching help? Does that make it more fun or whatever? Of course. But the core is competing. It's not necessarily even, so I guess some people disagree, it's not necessarily even winning per se. It's about competing.
Right, the game.
Competition. And I can compete. I should be able to compete in exactly the same fashion, whether there's 1 million people there or if there's 2 people.
Right. Coach Chris, when you were talking, tell me, as we're getting towards the end, when you have these guys together, because you made mention of this earlier as far as the concern about a parent who's happy with you today and friends with you today, but their child gets sick, they got a problem. when you would get the kids together, would you have a
Okay, he cut out. I guess he was going toward the fact of, you get the parents together, they have problems today, if something happens, would they have a problem with you? How would you react to that?
What I did is when we started getting our spike in positives, I had the 6 to 12-year-olds out there working out, trying to feel out to see how we could actually do it. The 6 feet apart and stuff like that. But what was happening is a 6-year-old, man, as soon as you turn your head, they're doing whatever they want to do. They're sneezing on each other, they coughing on each other. So I end up sending those kids back home. After we got the spike, I said, look, my high school kids, they're more disciplined enough to where I don't have to protect that. So that's how I was able to combat that is, get the young ones home, and until this thing go down, we just don't deal with that age group right now. Because on my job, man, I had 4 people came down positive, and one of the guys was fighting for his life.
Oh, man.
They were doing everything they could to keep him off of the ventilator. So even when they come off of that and they get better, they still have, I've heard people say that they're still dealing with, some kind of after effects, to whereas it could probably be with them for the rest of their life.
Okay.
So when I start seeing stuff like that, that starts to make me think, man, I can't go through a lawsuit. So I even had the parents sign waivers, but then I thought about it. What's important? Them playing youth football, or one person getting sick, spreading it to the next kid, or that kid taking it home to his elderly parent and stuff like that. So that's, in a position like that, you gotta weigh the pros and cons. And right now, it's safety more than anything for me.
Okay. All right. While Gibron's getting back on, I want to ask the youngsters, if you were able to play this season and you had the opportunity to play, but the only catch would be no crowd, how would you feel about that? We're going to start with Daryl DePass.
Playing, he said, you like you said earlier, you play for talent. The fun is this game. The game is just fun for me. It's just there. Like, I love the game. So of course I would play without a crowd. Of course I still play the same, but the crowd, it does hype me up. It gets me rowdy early. I feel like everybody plays way hype, way better with the crowd. But if you have the love for the game, like you said, you still play.
Okay. All right. Myles Dillon.
Playing without a crowd is, for some people, gives them a boost of confidence. But in what's happening right now, playing without a crowd will mean to me everybody staying safer in what's going on, and that it's just listening to them.
Okay.
Well, me?
Yes,
Eamon. It's, to me, like, I know the crowd gets me rowdy, the crowd gets me hype, but for me, like, I got love for the game, so I don't care who's there. I'm gonna play my heart out. So, yeah.
Okay. Eamon, next.
Me, yeah, I would still play with no crowd, like the film.
Okay. And I'm squared.
Myles, we got like 3 games tomorrow. So.
Okay.
But I'll speak for Myles, man. We tried it out. I don't even know if Myles even knows that the crowd is there. He's so in his zone He just wants to win. That's all he cares about, win and throwing touchdowns. He doesn't even, I don't even think he paid attention to the crowd. He's just there to try to throw touchdowns and win the game. That's all he cares about.
All right. Gidron, you back on? Okay. He's having technical difficulties. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I want to thank everybody for joining this broadcast tonight. We appreciate it. Last minute. Chris, we'll start with you for some closing thoughts on this issue.
I just want everybody to know that like Coach Omar and all the other coaches on this broadcast tonight, that us as coaches, we're gonna do whatever we can to prepare you guys spiritually, mentally, academically. We can't control the situation that's going on now. I just hope and pray that it would be whatever has to happen is gone, that the kids that at least try to get a few games in, especially our seniors coming up on the Black Lives Matter issue. Let's put it this way. It's taking the young people to push this thing forward to make change, and I welcome that. Other than that, appreciate having me on tonight, and look forward to doing something like this with you guys again.
Thank you. Omar?
I just would say more so to the players, man, all you guys, just try to keep in mind this is one point in time, right? A lot of older guys will tell you life, can be, life is long. So don't look at these 6 months or 8 months, as it's just one point in time. It's one point in your football career. So you got a lot of time ahead of you. And what, I encourage my what we try to do is we look at this as an opportunity to train. We look at this as an opportunity to get better. We planned out our season without, formal games, and looked at how much we're going to train and how much we're going to get better and how stronger and bigger and faster we're going to come back next season. So definitely take, the disappointment of maybe not being able to play and think about how you can turn it into something positive.
Okay. All right, athletes, this is to you guys. Use this time to train, get better, practice your craft, because for every minute you're practicing, there's going to be somebody across the country that's practicing as well. You don't want to be that kid that comes back next season, if there is a next season, and is the last man in all the drills. Not because you are not fast, but because you didn't put the work in. You got to remember that. All right? Don't let the season postpone your development. Stay focused, stay hungry, and keep your eye on the prize. We know all you guys have potential of going D1, whatever school you choose to go to. Remember that there's somebody out there that's hustling harder than you are, and you got to out-hustle that guy. All right? Well, I want to thank everybody. Thank you for joining. And the meeting is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well.